The Holiday Inn Express and Suites of Levelland would be pleased to have you as a guest during your next trip to town. Conveniently located off Highway 114, it offers special discounts for visitors who are in town for SPC events. You are sure to get a great night's sleep in our comfortable rooms, and then get your day going with our complimentary hot breakfast. End your day at our manager's reception, or relax at our indoor saltwater pool and spa. We're located at 703 East Highway 114 and proudly support South Plains College.
Coach, you got yourself a win against Western Texas. I think it's one of those that you had to get out and win a ball game after kind of a tough bit of a murderer's road, 2-2 going into that game. But you got yourself a 20-point win and at least a place to get rolling back in the right direction.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, there were some positives in the game. I mean, obviously, if you hold a team in the 40s, you've done something right. But you know, this year, you know, looking at some of the scores in the league, I think Midland went over there and beat them 60-something to 40 or 38 or 39. You know, there's not a lot of high scoring going on in our conference this year. You know, last year it seemed to me, I think we were the leading scorer in our league, but there's a lot of 60s. We lose at New Mexico, which seemed like we lost by 100 points. But we lost by like 14 or 15, and it was only what 60-something to 50 or 48 or 49 or something.
Exactly.
So there's not a lot of scoring going on this year, and which makes for kind of a grinded out style basketball.
And any time I think you go out and score 34 in the paint, you got to be pretty happy with the kind of numbers you took down there.
That is our priority. That is our focus this year. I mean, and we've known that from the very beginning. Is that, you know, we have some size. We are one of the few teams in the conference that has two post guys to play together, and we're giving up on the three. But we're trying to get a higher percentage too, you know, almost each and every time. But that's something, you know, that we've kind of been forced into with, you know, with our lack of, you know, accuracy from the three-point line.
And really, 49% from the floor. You take out the 3 of 15 from behind the arc against Western Texas.
Shooting 60%.
Is great.
Yeah, I know. You know, you have to shoot open shots though. It sure would be nice if we could start delivering on some of them, but if you don't, then what happens is now you can't get the ball inside either because they just don't have much respect for you beyond 17, 18 feet, and the floor gets awful small, you know, inside. All of a sudden, you put a couple of guys down in there and 2 or 3 more to get in their way, and the next thing you know, it's really, really hard to get the ball on the glass. Defensively against Western, I thought we did okay. They didn't get a lot of open looks. You hold them to one shot, you get a lot of defensive rebounds. I think we had pretty good numbers on the glass against them in that game. You know, you got a chance to win. You got a chance to win big.
Meanwhile, the other thing I really saw in that game, I really thought Ryan Morton and Yannick Morera fit pretty well off each other. He talked about the paint not having that outside shot fall down for you, but the presence of 2 guys down there. And Michael Carino came in and scored some points off the bench for you. I really thought those guys did a good job of feeding off of each other, and if one got collapsed on, they seemed to find that open guy.
Michael's getting a lot better. I mean, he's probably since September, probably our most improved player. He got here. He got off to a slow start and what have you, and he's gone through a bunch of nagging injuries and what have you. But I think he's finally starting to improve. You can almost see it daily, you know, with him. Kid plays extremely hard. He is unbelievably fast and quick, and something that you don't expect out of a guy that's as big as a Mack truck, you know. His hands are coming around, you know, and his coordination, finishing around the glass and what have you, has improved drastically. So he goes down through there and posts up, and if we can get the other guy spaced out, I mean, it's like a big wind tunnel through there, you know. And I mean, he just draws, you know, people down through, you know, clears out the lane and what have you. Ryan goes after the ball on the offensive glass as good as anybody we probably had here in quite some time, and he's getting fouled a lot and what have you. Yannick is a good, you know, he's more of a stretch player. His strength is not really at the rim. You know, you look at him as a 7-foot guy that, you know, has got all the moves and whatever you would think, but he's more of a face-up player. We're trying to get him to be more of the other. But his skill or his talent is the other, you know. So we're trying to figure out how we can get the best of both out there. But Michael is more of a low post player, like Ryan is, and so when we have Ryan and Mike out there together, they get in each other's way. That's why it's good to counter with Yannick with one of those two.
It's been a conference with a lot of diversity this year, and we knew early, Odessa and Howard gets always tossed in the mix. New Mexico Junior College. Now we see Nimmy pick up a couple of wins, and they're starting to climb up from the bottom of this thing. This thing's going to be a dogfight down the backside.
I don't think there's a super team. Last year there were two super teams, us and Howard, and this year there's not. I mean, there's just it's evidenced by that all of us have losses, outside the league, and so. When you have that, you use the term dogfight. There's not a nickel's worth of difference in probably the top 6-7 teams this year, and so you can say your league's down. I think it's tougher, because every night you got to play late.
Continues coming up tomorrow night. Get ready to take on Odessa on the road.
Right. They I think they have one loss, in the league, and. It'd be a tough game. It was a tough game for us last year too. Last 7 or 8 minutes, we kind of blew it open. So, they've got some good players. They got an outstanding guard that you got to pay attention to. Every time he comes down the floor. I don't expect it to be very much fun tomorrow night. It's going to be hard. It will be hard to do well, and hopefully if we don't turn the ball over. And we can get the ball to where we want to, then we have a chance each and every night. But the turnovers have really bit us this year, and then the lack of ability to go out and overcome by hitting 8 or 9 threes in a game, it just makes it doubly tough for our basketball team. So we've got to really value that and get good shots, and hopefully get the ball down low where they might have a hard time covering us. But I don't know, they're doing good. They've stayed in pretty good spirits and what have you, and after you lose a game and your first conference game, you really get down, because last year we had to win them all, to win the league, but this year we're not going to have to, and so you can kind of keep going a little bit, because you can see other people are, they're falling short at a couple. Howard's lost a couple of home games. New Mexico to this point is the only one that hasn't. I don't think they've lost a game in the league yet, but they got the second round where they get to go on the road and play some people. So it's going to be an interesting February.
Final thoughts for us before we get ready to take on the Rangers.
Well, we have them Thursday, and I don't even know who we play Monday. I've never in my life not known what the schedule was, and like this year. I know the next game, and that's it. And I can kind of figure it out because we haven't played a couple, so it's got to be one of the two. But I have no idea where it is or anything like that. So hopefully if it's home, we have a good crowd. We've had some pretty good crowds. The new seats are, I think, make people feel like they're a little bit more a part of what's been going on instead of sitting, where they had to use binoculars to see. So, they get down there and become a part of it. And Jody Redding's group over there, it gives us a little bit of inspiration and what have you. So hopefully people come watch us play.